In 1891, George transferred to the Iowa Agricultural College and Model Farm, now Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa, where Etta Budd's father taught horticulture. He remained at Iowa State for 5 years as its first African-American student, earning a master's degree and becoming the first African-American faculty member.
I think it was a powerful validation of his worth as seen by others. My view is that at that point, Carver was thereafter in charge of his own career and life.
At first, life for George at his new school wasn't easy.
He wasn't given a room near the other students. He wasn't allowed to eat with the other students. His professor, Pamela, gave him one of his laboratories to live in. And a white lady from Indianola, a friend named Mrs. Sophia Liston, she came to visit Carver in Ames. She decided she was going to walk around with Carver all around town so that people could see that he was accepted and known in society. And she insisted that she would eat wherever he ate. And so whereas before he'd had to eat with the hired hands or the workers, the powers that be decided he could eat with the other students. I'm very proud of the fact that Carver decided to stick it out when he first got to Ames. And I'm also proud of the fact that the people who perhaps weren't as welcoming of him when he first got there, they were able to learn, they were able to grow, they were able to change.
In Ames, George befriended James Wilson, head of the agricultural school, who would serve as U.S. Secretary of Agriculture for 16 years. His dairying professor, Henry C. Wallace, would hold the same post in the 1920s. And Wallace's son, Henry A. Wallace, who frequently accompanied George on nature walks, would serve as Agriculture Secretary and Vice President under Franklin D. Roosevelt.
On Sundays, George Washington Carver would be invited over to the Wallace home for dinner, and afterwards, George Washington Carver and Henry A. Wallace would go for walks, and they would study nature, look at plants, talk about what George Washington Carver was studying at Iowa State University. And interestingly so, George Washington Carver's undergraduate thesis was on plant hybridization. And here he was talking to Henry A. Wallace, who had found Pioneer Hybrid based on plant hybridization.